Season 3 is looking like an entirely new game. The changes to the game's core mechanics are huge, and it legit looks like you can finally play anyone you want without feeling like your team sucks. In this video, we're gonna go through the system changes shown on today's Bandai Namco stream, and we'll even touch on a few character balance changes, though keep in mind, these are not the complete patch notes. When they show these notes on stream, it's just a couple per character, and it's usually nothing but buffs. For instance, Goku GT's patch notes only say that his power pole moves are easier to combo, but watching the stream, we can see that his Spirit Bombo key is completely gone. He doesn't hard knock down anymore. So I'll talk about some of the big character changes, but since nerfs aren't a part of the list, we'll be focusing on the universal mechanics. First of all, the biggest one is the fact that you can now choose your character's assist. Each character will have 3 assists to choose from, and you can see which assists your opponent has picked on the loading screen. As a rule of thumb, assist A is the old assist, assist B is an alternate assist, very character specific, and assist C is usually a combo or an attack followed by the character knocking the opponent down. So the A and B assists are definitely looking like the most unique, but if both of them suck, you've always got C, which seems very decent. A lot of interesting assists were shown. Vegeta's DP tracks your opponent and seems very easy to combo from. Ginyu rotates through the entire Ginyu force, and pretty much everyone who has a beam in the game has a beam assist. That is Trunks, Gotenks, Kid Buu, Cooler, Yamcha, Krillin, and probably a lot more. The character select screen has changed, as you might have noticed, and so did the stage select screen. We were hoping for a Tournament of Power stage during Season 3, but it seems that they don't have that empty space for it anymore. We might get 2 stages if they want to keep this select screen symmetric, but I'm not as hopeful for a new stage as I was a few weeks ago. I do like the music selection though. It shows a list now, which makes it a lot easier to choose. Next up, the comeback mechanic they're introducing to the game. When you're down to your last character, you'll notice that your portrait gains an effect around it. This is the limit break, and it's nothing more, nothing less than a damage buff. You will deal 10% more damage, which is significant, but as far as comeback mechanics go, it could have been a lot worse. I was afraid of some Marvel vs. Capcom X Factor stuff, like characters getting faster movement, faster frames, but it's nothing that insane. This buff does stack with other buffs, so it will stack with Sparking Blast and Golden Frieza or Dragon Ball Super Broly, for instance, and also when your last character comes in, you automatically gain a bar of meter. And while on this topic, a few people asked me on stream what's the bar in the middle. By the way, I stream every Tuesdays and Thursdays on twitch.tv/Globku. Follow me, link in the description down below. This bar on top is not a new mechanic or anything you need to worry about. It's just a visual indicator to tell who's winning. It will help you when a match is close to a timeout and you're a full health character versus 2 low health characters, for instance. It can be hard to see who has the most health, and that bar will help you determine who's winning in that scenario. The next big change, Snapbacks. Snapback meta is completely dead. Not only does your character enter the stage a lot faster, making it a lot harder to pressure the entry, you can also delay your entry, so your opponent will have to read when you're coming in. This is perfect. This is the change everyone was asking for. It effectively kills the snapback meta unless someone finds some insane way to cover all the options in the next coming weeks. Now, you can't snap back without a Dragon Rush, and Dragon Rush is getting a big update too. You can now cancel 5L, the first light attack, into a Dragon Rush, on hit or block, giving you an extra place where you can put your Dragon Rush. By the end of the stream, it felt like the pros had already adjusted and were teching them perfectly, but online, this is gonna be such a nightmare. I call this one the Goichi change. They have to open him up somehow. Unfortunately, I don't think this one will be enough. Now, you can only Dragon Rush off of a 5L. You can 5L twice if you want before the Dragon Rush, but it won't work anywhere on the block string. It's not like you can throw any normal and Dragon Rush. No, it has to be a 5L, so you just have to be aware of it at the start of the block string. But this is gonna make staggered pressure that much more powerful. Next up, Ki Charge has received a decent buff. First of all, it now reflects Ki Blast, so if you're getting zoned by Ki Blasts, you can at least get some meter out of it. Though, it will probably still lose to beams and higher priority attacks, so I'd be careful. That said, you can now cancel the Ki Charge into other attacks and Super Dash as well. And you don't even need to get hit by any Ki Blast to cancel it. You can just cancel it whenever you want, which means that Ki Charge isn't that easily punishable mechanic anymore. It's definitely going to be something to keep an eye out for, since it seems like the perfect way to bait something out of your opponent. Unless they have a beam, in that case, all you're baiting is damage to your own health bar. Next up, a small change to Vanish that's gonna throw us all off in the first couple of matches. You can now move much faster after a Vanish, which is gonna mess with the timing on some of the combos, but potentially open up some new routes. It's still possible to do everything you were able to before, Vanish into Dragon Rush, Vanish into combos. The timing might have changed a bit, and the pros were certainly struggling with it on stream, but for the most part, everything you could do before, you can still do it now. Now, I did notice this Vanish combo with Adult Gohan, and it ended on a sliding knockdown. I'm not sure if something's changed about the Vanish itself or if it's something specific to Adult Gohan, but either way, we'll be on the lookout for that. Next big change coming this patch, EX moves now only spend half a bar instead of a full bar. This will make Dragon Ball FighterZ absolutely ridiculous. This is what neutral will look like in Season 3. This will make the game a lot more aggressive, EX moves will be flying everywhere. In fact, a lot of the neutral in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I believe, will be played through EX moves. And that's going to matter a lot more for tier lists and stuff like that. Does your character have a fuck neutral button? No? Guess he's not a top tier then. Characters like Adult and Team Gohan are gonna keep you blocking forever thanks to this. Their EX legs are just gonna keep you in block stun. And at first I thought they were bringing this game back to neutral. There's a small change on how assists recharge that was going to prevent endless block strings, because now assists do not start recharging in small gaps. You actually have to properly stop attacking for the assist recharge to kick in, and they also seem to recharge a lot slower. But with EX moves costing half a bar, forget about it. You're gonna be blocking for a lot longer actually. No more fuzzies! Big characters rejoice, you cannot get fuzzied by rising light attacks anymore. As far as I know, the universal fuzzy is still there, or at least it seems to be, but with the snapback changes it might be a lot harder to pull this one off. But either way, universal fuzzies work on everyone, not just big characters. The rising fuzzies were the problem for the big boys, and they're completely gone now. So feel free to pick up your big guy if that's what you were afraid of. And those are pretty much all the changes coming to the game's systems, but as you probably already know, there's a huge balance patch on the way that will affect all characters in the roster. The patch notes we have are not complete, but through watching the stream, I did notice a couple of things. The first big change is obviously Goku GT's Spirit Bomb. It no longer causes a hard knockdown, meaning you don't get any pressure out of it. It does still seem possible to combo after the Spirit Bomb, but either way, removing the Oki is more than fair. I was actually afraid that they were going to overcorrect with this character, but this seems like a very good change. Other than GT Goku, I haven't noticed anything different about the top tier, so we'll have to check back with them when the patch comes out. Other big changes include Super Saiyan Vegeta's DP, which has a different follow-up now. You can choose to side switch or keep the same side as you end the DP. Ginyu has a proper level 3 now, and you can use it when you follow up with his super. This level 3 is made of reused assets, so I wasn't a big fan of the animation, but Ginyu getting a proper level 3 is huge for the character. Frieza can now cancel his golden form at will. He's still vulnerable when he does it, but at least the player can choose when to do it now, instead of waiting for it to run out at a very bad time. Trunks' EX flips can now be influenced by sending him up or down, so Trunks can flip like crazy with his EX flip. Majin Buu's 2M into 5M actually combos now, which is gonna give him entirely new routes and make him a lot more accessible for new players. Android 21's command grabs now put the opponent into a sliding knockdown. You can choose to follow up the grab with the dive or just let it roll for the knockdown. And her level 3 super, where she eats the opponent, now gives her all 4 ability slots. And those seem to be the biggest changes I noticed. There were a lot of others, but as we wait for the complete patch notes, a few frame buffs to some moves aren't really worth getting into because we don't know what's getting nerfed instead. So for now, this is what Season 3 of Dragon Ball FighterZ looks like. I feel completely overwhelmed by these changes. It's so much to wrap my head around. There are so many teams I want to try out, and now we don't have to wait long to do it. The patch drops on February 25th, a day before Kefla drops, and I'm sure you guys got new teams you want to try out. So let me know who you're looking forward to playing in the comments down below. And if you want to watch me cover the patch live, I'm on Twitch every Tuesdays and Thursdays, link in the description down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.